Fear is an emotional response due to an instinct of danger or uneasiness. Fear can cause change in the brain, organs, and even behavior. Fear affects everyone differently, depending on the person. Intensity of danger is what drives horror movies, creating an atmosphere in order to spark fear and to cause somebody to be drawn into the movie. Instinct plays a big part of fear, and it is what causes a response. You may have heard of the fight or flight theory. In a dangerous or fearful situation, people may either fight the danger or flee from it. So, what makes a sound scary? For this, we have to go to the Middle Ages and check out something called a tritone. You may have heard of the tritone, and you may have been told that it was outlawed in music in the Middle Ages because it was seen as the devil's interval. This is a misconception, but even then, it still sounds scary, right? Well, at least a little bit. This is because of something called dissonance. You may know of the term cognitive dissonance, which is the term for the mental distress for a person who holds two contradictory ideas. This is usually triggered by finding out something new relating to something you already feel strongly about. This creates a distress. What should I believe? What is the truth? Well, our brains do the same thing with sound. There are intervals between specific wavelengths or notes that are in sync and thus present a satisfying sound when played together. The tritone's two notes, no matter where you play them on the keyboard, produce two wavelengths that do not and will not ever agree with each other. Going farther down the dissonance rabbit hole, there is a whole subset of music itself called atonal music. This music purposely avoids any key or conventional harmonic structure in order to give a gritty, unpleasant, experimental sound. It should be of no surprise that many horror movies use it. Another thing horror movies may use is something called infrasound. I'm going to play an example of infrasound for you right now. Wait, can you hear anything? I mean, neither can I. This is a picture of the waveform, and I definitely am playing it right now. So, what's going on here? Well, infrasound is a noise, usually a single wave, under 20 Hz, that humans cannot physically hear, but they can feel them. Infrasound exists everywhere in nature, like the wind, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, avalanches, and it is also used by elephants to communicate over long distances. So it does make natural sense why we are so naturally unnerved by it. It disturbs our human instinct. Filmmaker Gaspar Noé admitted in an interview that him and film scorer Thomas Bangalter, also known as one half of Daft Punk, intentionally used sound at just around 27 Hz in his 2002 avant-garde psychological thriller Irreversible. This film is gross, relentless, and filled with so much repulsive graphic violence that it gets hard to keep your eyes on the screen. Obviously, the infrasound doesn't help too much to alleviate that. In the case of Irreversible, this combination of infrasound and graphic imagery got so intense that people ran out of the theater because they were nauseous. Each of these things have been unnatural to us humans on a primal level. This makes creepiness apparent in ways that we may not even think of. Even though we are the most technologically advanced on Earth, we are still animals, and we still have instincts just as animals do. Loud, dissonant, disjointed sounds don't frighten us just because they just do, but also because distressed baby animal sounds are exactly the same. They're loud, disjointed, unnatural, and dissonant. But what about songs like this? This isn't loud, disjointed, and it's definitely not dissonant. Why does it frighten people so much? Well, some things are just scary because we make them to be that way. Tiny Tim's song was used famously in the movie Insidious in order to creep the viewer out by putting a very lighthearted children's song behind a scene that is just really off. Another example of this is the last scene from The Shining, as shown here. Music, creepiness, fear, it's all around us. This video was made by Colby Gay, Matthew Ryan, and me and Coates. Now spend some time talking through the reflection questions.